Ladies and gentlemen of the Iced Earth community, welcome to Podcast in Stone, the only podcast 100% dedicated to Ice motherfucking Earth. Unless you're this episode. This episode is not dedicated to Iced Earth, not properly anyway. This episode is sort of about myself and my awesome co-host Chuck Hoskins, as we do our very first Q&A to, let you guys kind of get to know us a bit more. That goes beyond our love for Iced Earth. Chuck, how you doing, my friend? First Q&A.
I'm doing good. This is kind of cool, kind of a in-between episodes, a little extra for people to kind of find out about those that bring the episodes, and other than our love of Iced Earth, other stuff about us. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks to all those who submitted questions. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a good kind of chilled out kind of episode. So enjoy it, guys. So I'm going to kick off with the first question. I can't pronounce his surname, but I've spoken to him on the messenger many times over the last week. His name is Dino. He comments in. How's it going with the band, Jason? Where did you record your drums? My band is going exceptionally well. We just played a show in London on Friday night, which was incredibly great. Great turnout, great crowds. Chuck has a demo that I did a test press, basically a test press demo that Chuck has got in his hands there, that I pretty much made like 15 of them. So only select people have a copy of them. So you've got a rare item there, Chuck. It might be worth money in like 30 years, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, for people that don't know, I'm in a band called Alteration. We kind of mix elements of like grunge, punk, metal, groove, all that kind of good jazz stuff. We just, throw it into a cauldron, stir it up into this just like goo, and it's just like really kind of heavy and groovy. And yeah, I love it. It's like one of my biggest passions in life. I fucking love playing. Where did I record my drums? We record in a local studio I live on the outskirts of London, in like kind of a suburb area, in a little town called Erith. Shithole town. Don't go there for a holiday. Trust me, shithole town. There's a little local studio called Banana Road Studios. It's a part rehearsal studio, part recording studio. I've been friends with the owner for about 12 years. And yeah, we recorded down there. He's got the drum kit. I just took my essential stuff like cymbals and that, and then we just tracked the drums. Track the drums in one day for those 3 tracks that are on our Bandcamp that you can listen to right now. So yeah, band's going great. Thanks a lot for the question, Dino. Adam Ortiz asks, when are we hanging out? It depends when I can get money to get a plane ticket to America. So I don't know how long you'll be waiting there, Adam. I do apologise. Chuck, when are you hanging out with Adam?
Next time he messaged me and wants to Skype again.
There's always Skype, I suppose.
Come to Ohio, Adam.
Richard Clark has an addition to that question. Would we be open to a Podcast in Stone meetup in London for the English fans, and also in America for American fans? So say, like, I'm guessing he's asking, would you, Chuck, arrange a meetup for American fans of the podcast to meet up with you and hang out? And would I do the same over here? That would be cool. That would be pretty damn awesome. But it all depends where, and if people are willing to travel to, like, the meeting spot.
Stygian.
Side note
to that. When Iced Earth was in Cincinnati in March, I met 2 people from our group for the first time, a buddy of mine that was already in the group, and got a couple people to join the group that night. So we already kind of had a mini one in Cincinnati, Ohio. So
nice. That's cool, man.
So anytime you go to a city and you think other people from that group are there, absolutely, you guys should get together and hang out. We were going to do a group picture, but it just never happened. Everything was just with the meet and greet and stuff. Everybody was here and there. So, yeah. So
yeah, I would love to meet up with people that the English fans of the podcast, people like Richard you know, people like Jasmine and stuff that are on the group, but they all live way far away from me. You know, like Jasmine lives in Norwich and Richard lives in Ireland, so that's just quite a way to go. Or you know, there's not really a very good like middle grounds to meet at there. It's still going to be a travel. So I don't know how that unless when I still come to the UK and come to London, maybe people can come down from wherever they are to London and we can have a meet up there. But yeah, yeah, I think that's a cool idea. But obviously, it all depends on location and how willing people are to travel. But yeah, thank you for that suggestion, Richard. That's really cool. Brandon Stone asks, what style of music do you listen to besides metal? I know, blasphemous. Do you have an answer for that, Chuck?
When I'm not listening to metal is usually when I'm with my wife and she likes 80s music,
Oh, okay.
like In Excess, that kind of Duran Duran stuff. So usually when we're hanging out and stuff, we listen to stuff like that. There's an 80s channel on Pandora we listen to, and we actually every year go and see a Prince tribute band. So I enjoy some Prince.
Nice.
So that's the main stuff that I listen to. That's not metal.
For me, I don't know, like, when the stuff that where you kind of draw a line when it's not metal, because for me, I listen, a lot of it is very much heavy music. But there's
Right.
a band in the UK called the Marmosets. They're kind of like pop rocky with a bit of like kind of like progressiveness in there. Really catchy, really big vocal hooks. Female vocals, and she's like world class. She's incredible. Yeah, really good bands. This album, Knowing What You Know Now, it came out this year. It's one of my favorite albums of the year. It's fantastic. Not metal by any means, but really upbeat, catchy, hooky kind of pop rock. It's really good. So I don't know if that counts. Also, there's a band called Don Broco in the UK. Again, very kind of catchy, poppy kind of rock from Birmingham, which is they're pretty
Nice.
great. They're fucking great. This album is also 2018, and it's also a great record. Aside from like bands, I've got just like soundtracks that I enjoy, especially soundtracks that invoke nostalgia. Like I've got the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers soundtrack because I was a massive Power Rangers fan when I was a kid, and that nostalgia has still carried over into adulthood. So the music has always been nostalgic for that. So I bought the original 1993 reissue of the Power Rangers soundtrack, which is just all kinds of nostalgic city. And the last and not least for me, you answered your question so simply. I'm just going on tangents now. I like video games, so I've got a couple of video game soundtracks that I really enjoy the music from. So yeah, that's basically that's the majority of the kind of non-metal music that I listen to. So yeah, thank you for that question, Brandon. That's a cool little question.
And a side note, a lot of times when I want some non-metal, I go to metal guys going acoustic like Luke's and Jacob's Wells in my car, so I can't show you that. But
Shout out to
you
Luke
know,
Appleton and Gene Adam.
to
Fucking
Luke,
yes.
yeah. So when I want to listen to non-metal cool stuff, these are two of my go-to favorites. Good question. Thank you.
Richard Clark is back again with another question. Everybody knows that being a metalhead is synonymous with drinking alcohol. So, what are your favourite alcoholic beverages? You can go first, Chuck.
I don't drink very often, but when I do, my favorite is Mike's Hard Lemonade Black Cherry
Cool.
and Bud
Uh,
Light. A lot of the hard stuff, I don't like the way I feel the next day. I'm getting old, so I don't drink that stuff anymore.
yeah. I don't know where the whole drinking alcohol is synonymous with metalheads. I know it's like people like their beer and stuff, but I'm not really much of a drinker. I generally just don't like beer.
Yeah.
So when I usually want an alcoholic beverage, it's usually either whiskey, rum, or cider. My cider of choice is usually Old Rosie Gold. Really nice dry apple cider, really refreshing in the summer. It goes down well with a burger actually. Like it's really nice. There's a rum called Kraken Black Spice Rum. I use it as a mixer, so I mix it with Coca-Cola, and it's just really really nice. And I like Southern Comfort with lemonade, which just I can knock them back all day long. They're just a really just enjoyable drink in the summer and that, you know. I don't drink.
Nice.
I don't drink to get drunk. I drink because I enjoy the beverage that I'm drinking. Do you know what I mean? You get these people that just fucking, oh, I want to get shit faced tonight. Like this, I don't understand that at all. But yeah, I'm more of a sweet. I go for more of a sweeter alcohol kind of varieties there. But yeah, thank you for that question, Richard. John Baylor asks, what's your guys' take on new metal in the heavy metal history? It's where it all began for me. Pretty much a big chunk of gateway bands were new metal for me. Bands like Linkin Park, Slipknot, Static X, those kind of bands. Yeah,
Korn.
I've never liked Korn personally. But yeah, I know people would classify them as like the pioneers, the band that kind of created new metal, but they've never grabbed me personally. But yeah, the new metal was good for the time. It was a good thing in its prime, but it's a big joke now, isn't it? In the metal community, people find it as a big joke. Bands like Limp Bizkit and stuff like that. It's just there.
It was cool at the time. I remember when Limp Bizkit was big, and they had a couple of songs that I enjoyed. I didn't think it was going to last forever necessarily, but I enjoyed it. And there's still a few Korn CDs that I have and still enjoy. So, I always thought that Slipknot was overrated. I mean, they were fun to watch and stuff, but when it come down to their live music, I thought they very much lacked.
Okay, I've never seen them live, which is it's going to change next year because their new album drops next year. So me and my girlfriend are definitely going to be catching them as soon as possible.
Cool. So
the funny thing about new metal though, did you ever have this phase in America where every kid was buying those fucking big, like, baggy as fuck jeans? Yeah. See, I never got onto that fad, but it was like
I call those that I wasn't hugged enough jeans.
I called them like I people that wish they were fat. They're really because it looks like they've got massive thighs, like I always used to see like kids. These young kind of, like, obviously I was like 14 at the time when I got into like metal and stuff. So like you see these like kids of my age, like 14 years old back in the day, wearing these massive fucking, like, they're almost inflatable jeans, right? They're so ridiculous with all these chains hanging off them. Like, I thought the fashion statement in new metal was a bit weird. I didn't understand it whatsoever, but it's all a bit of a laugh now though. Really,
it's cool. At least new metal's still better than pop crap.
Oh yeah, like speaking about Korn, I quite enjoy their dubstep album. I think it's really catchy and quite entertaining.
See You on the Other Side, is that what it was called?
No,
or the one that was a few. Okay, they did some remixes on See You on the Other Side too.
They had an album that was completely dubstep, and it was called Path of Totality.
Yeah.
That I actually quite enjoyed that album for what it was. A lot of people hated it because it wasn't like the new metal crunch that they're used to. It was more just straight up electronica dubstep. But I thought it was quite catchy. So there's another one for the non-metal kind of music that I like. I would happily own that on vinyl. But I will. I do regret.
Good question, John Baylor.
Thank you, John. Christopher Olofsson asks the question of all questions, the ultimate question of the internet, the biggest question the internet has ever seen in its life, the biggest debate of all time: cats or dogs?
Cats for me. We have two cats, and there's one that always Skypes with me and Jason that I don't allow him to Skype during the recorded shows because he like sets up here and purrs and stuff, and it's distracting. So you guys will never see him, but cats for me.
Trust me, guys. If you ever saw this, man and cat relationship, it is something truly beautiful.
Hey, Stu likes cats too.
Yeah, I'm more of a dog person. I don't have any pets myself, unfortunately, because I live with my parents because I can't afford to move out because housing is ridiculously priced. So I've never actually had a pet, unfortunately, but I do gravitate more to dogs. I think dogs are more kind of loyal and they are more kind of like I think you can bond with a dog a bit easier. Cats are more just like, yeah, whatever, feed me, go away, kind of thing. They're more independent. I like to bond with my pet a bit. I know, Chuck,
On
you and
on
your
on
cat
a
is really like bonded proper.
yeah. And here's my debate to that back to you. You know, I can leave in the morning and come back the very next morning and they're fine. You know, I ain't got to let them out every 6 hours. So, on the other hand, of being more independent, that's a great thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So, anyway, I'm sure
I
there's people that love both. Animals are cool.
Thank you for that question, Christopher. Right, next question is from William White. He asks, he comments, "Hey Jason and Chuck, what are your hobbies?" I'll let you kick this off, Chuck, with your answers to this one.
My most passionate hobby right now is collecting vinyls and multiple pressings of vinyls. So
Trust me, guys. He hasn't stopped talking about bloody get all the colours of Darksaga. Like, that's
Yeah.
always been talking about. He's like, I need that colour of Darksaga.
So I love vinyls, but my other favorite thing is probably my other hobby would be superhero movies. Me and my kids go and see all of them. So we just seen Ant-Man and the Wasp last weekend. It was great. So that's another one of my favorite things to do is to take the kids and go see the superhero movies.
That's cool, man. That's really like proper like father and son's
But
kind of bonding
but my
moment. Yeah.
number one hobby is podcast and stone. You know, doing our show and collecting iced earth. But that's another one, superhero stuff.
Yeah. For me, aside from doing podcast and stone, which is like one of my favorite things in the world. Um, we tried to record earlier today, and Skype was not giving us any chance, and I was losing my mind, guys. I don't think Chuck's ever seen me so angry. I was so annoyed because I was worried that Skype is completely fucked up and we weren't able to like record properly again. But everything's fine. We're recording now, so it's all good. So I'm happy again because my favorite hobby, doing this podcast and sharing our love for Ice Earth with all you guys, is like I love it. I couldn't, if this all went away, my life will be lesser for it. You know what I mean? So, but aside from podcast and stone, which is probably the biggest hobby, I like drawing. You've probably seen, if you follow my main, if you're a friend of me on Facebook, you've probably seen like me posting drawings up and stuff like that. I like video games a bit too much, maybe. Yeah, I quite like video games. Especially this year, I've really gotten into movies a lot. I've been watching a lot of movies, especially since I met Emma, my girlfriend. We've been seeing a lot of movies together. We went and saw Hereditary, that new horror film. Excellent movie, very well made. I recommend everybody, if you like really thought-provoking horror films, go and see it. It's fantastic. But yeah, basically it really. I like computer stuff. Like, I got a really good computer. I like making
Nice.
videos. That makes sense.
I also like playing Texas Hold'em online. I also like doing that while I'm listening to records. So, cool. Cool question.
Thanks for the question, William. Aaron Philpott comments, if you could see Ice Earth open for any band, who would it be?
If I could see Iced Earth open for a band, I would pick probably Iron Maiden, just because I think that Iced Earth fans could grow from that, and I think that they're the most kind of compatible. I think that
Right.
everybody that went to go see a Maiden show would love Iced Earth. So I picked Iron Maiden for the reason of I would love to see the fan base grow. And I like Maiden too, so that wouldn't suck seeing Maiden.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I'm gonna go on the flip side of that. I'm gonna say Judas Priest. I think
Same thing.
Yeah, Judas Priest, although very different from Maiden in my opinion, um, I think Iced Earth in their sound kind of takes from a bit from elements from both bands. So I think Judas Priest would be a really good band to open for as well. So yeah, Judas
Cool.
Priest for me. I love Judas Priest, fucking great band. Aaron also adds, if you could see any band open for Iced Earth, who would it be?
Can I pick two? I would pick
Whatevs.
Ashes of Aries and Witherfall.
Nice.
Witherfall is my absolute favorite new band, so I would love to see Witherfall and Ashes. Gotta love some Matt.
I'm gonna pick two now that you picked two.
Okay.
Mine would be Intense because they are great. They are from England, and to me they are you know, if Iced Earth were British, this is what they sound like. They're fucking great. I love them. Sean Harrington, he recently sent me their latest album. It's a fucking incredible record. It's called The Shape of Rage. I do recommend everybody who likes, if you love the sound of Iced Earth and want to hear a different take on that sound, but still really great heavy metal, I recommend, you know, hunting that album down and checking it out. It's fucking great. The second band I would choose for opening for Iced Earth would be Battle Beast. They're kind of like 80s heavy metal. Well, they're not from the 80s, but they kind of invoke that kind of 80s vibe of heavy metal. And they're from Finland, they're female fronted, and they are fucking incredible. I've seen them live twice, they are really good bands. Funny enough, the first time I saw them live, they were supporting Powerwolf, and Ashes of Ares was on that same bill. So I saw Battle Beast and Ashes of Ares back to back, and it was a bollocks.
Nice.
It was really good. So yeah, Battle Beast and Intense would be my two bands, I think, because they really are great bands, and I think they would kind of complement Iced Earth really well as like a 3-band bill. That'd be fucking great. Thank you for your questions, Aaron.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
William White is back with another question. He asks, what would you think if John done another Sons of Liberty album with Gene Adam on vocals?
That would be awesome.
I'd be all over it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think it would be great.
Yeah.
I would actually look more forward to that than Demons and Wizards. Actually, that's just me.
Yeah. It's just the idea of hearing Gene sing metal again is just exciting to me. Like the idea that, you know, that will bring that to us is really cool. You know, I love his acoustic stuff. That's really awesome. But I just want to hear him sing metal again because, you know, that's the Gene Adam that I know. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
Don't forget, we just found out a couple weeks ago, Gene and David Bell is working on stuff together. So
that's interesting.
It might not happen with John, but it's going to happen with David Bell. So
nice. I'll take either one, so it's all good.
Yes, absolutely.
Shout out to Gene Adam, we love you, man.
Gene Adam is awesome.
Yep. T-shirts are on sale, redbubble.com, get them now. 50% off forever. I make no money on them shirts. They're all just saving the costs to everyone else. So grab a t-shirt, man. Where am I? Okay. GG Aaron the Third asks, did either of you have a nickname at high school? Chuck, do you wanna...
I did. This was the time when Hulk Hogan was huge in wrestling. I was the Chuckster. So, and a few people still call me that.
Now,
how about you, Jason?
As I'm an English person, I did not go to high school. I went to secondary school because that's what it's called over here. When you turn 11, you go from primary school to secondary school, and you're in secondary school from when you're 11 until you're 17, then you leave and maybe go to college or something. I know high school is a lot. You're in school a lot longer, right? You're 21. You finish high school in America.
18.
Is it 18? I thought it was 21.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm losing my mind.
Only if you're slow.
Well, I put you back a grade or something.
Yeah. Supposed to be around 18.
With me, like, I had a couple I had one nickname, and I had one which basically people would refer me to as my last name is Brett, so people would just call me Brett for some odd reason. I don't know why. Maybe they
That's not
thought
uncommon.
maybe they thought my name was Brett. I don't know. Maybe they thought my name was Brett Jason. I don't know. Weird. But in school I used to have like a shaved head, like I didn't have any hair. And apparently people would laugh at me and say I look like the Cocoa Pops monkey, so they used to call me Monkey. So there's that. Like
Nice.
the corn. What? Who was he playing corn? That's called Monkey. Is he
Monkey is
is
the
it
bass player.
the bass player? Yeah. So people call me
Wait, no,
Monkey.
is that Fieldy? I don't know. Fieldy or Monkey? I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, people used to call me Monkey in school for some reason, or Brett. My circle of friends called me Monkey, and other people just called me Brett for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, thanks for that question, GG Aaron. I don't know if that's your real name, but thank you anyway. Lou Sass asks, what are your favourite TV shows?
Favorite TV shows for me are Walking Dead, Family Guy, South Park, and Big Bang Theory are probably my favorite four.
A lot of the shows that I consider my favourite are shows that are pretty much they've had a season and finished it. Pretty much Game of Thrones is my all-time favourite TV show ever. It's just incredible. I know it hasn't finished yet, but you've got one more season to go. But it's just beyond epic. It's so fucking awesome. I love it. I can't wait for the next season. I'm so hyped for it. It's ridiculous. I just hope it's not rushed. I hope they take their time and actually like wrap up all the like story details properly. That's besides the point. Anyway, I really genuinely believe that the Netflix Marvel shows, Daredevil and Jessica Jones, are incredible. They are really good shows. I haven't got around to watching Punisher yet, so I need to watch that at some point. But yeah,
Mhm.
Daredevil season 1 is fucking great. So if you like your Marvel, Chuck, I do
Yeah,
recommend watching Daredevil. It's really good.
it's taken me forever to finish. I want to finish Gotham before I start, and I actually Daredevil's third on my list. I want to finish Gotham and then go to Flash because I
I
actually like the
see.
DC shows too.
I haven't delved into the DC universe of TV shows. My brother watches Gotham and The Flash,
Yeah.
but I've never actually been interested really in those, to
See,
be honest.
I grew up on the old Adam West Batman show, and so I've always had a knack for DC. I just wish they made better movies.
I quite enjoyed Justice League though. That was fun.
Justice League was great, yeah.
That was a
So
fun film. Wonder Woman was really good as
yeah,
well. Wonder Woman, yeah.
yeah, they're getting a little bit better, and I even though it didn't get a lot of good praise, I enjoyed Suicide Squad.
So did I. So did I.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't care what critics say as long as I like it. Who cares?
Yeah. That's exactly that. Who gives a shit?
Right.
The enjoyment factor of anything is down to you, not people telling you what it is. Speaking of movies, David Diorca, or whatever his name is, David Montes Diorca, sorry. He asked us what are the kind of movies that you enjoy.
My favorite genres are horror and superhero. I love horror movies. Going to the theater with my wife and seeing horror movies. I have a huge collection of all the chainsaws and Halloweens and Friday the 13th and
The classics,
you know the classic, the Saws, the Chuckies. So I love horror movies and superhero movies are my favorite. I love a good comedy too.
Yeah, for me it's similar. My three kind of like favorite kind of genres is horror, revenge thriller, and action. Like my favorite film of all time is Alien. I think Alien is a masterpiece in terms of suspense horror. It's fucking incredible. For a film that came out in 1979, it's aged incredibly well. I can watch that over and over again and not be bored. It's just really well made. Um, I like a bit of anime as well. So there's this anime film by a company called Studio Ghibli called Princess Mononoke. It's an excellent piece of animation, animated storytelling. It's really good. Yeah, I've become I've become a really big film guy this year. I've seen so many
Yeah,
great
that's
films. Avengers: Infinity War was incredible. Deadpool 2 was a lot of fun. Yeah, there's been some really good movies this year. Quiet Place was like a big surprise how really good that was. Yeah, there's some great. There's been some really good films this year, like Hereditary, which I mentioned beforehand already. Fucking great horror film, highly recommended. So yeah, it's all great.
cool. Good
Movies.
question.
There's some really good movies this year. That's our last question of the day. I can talk about
Okay.
movies all night though. So
Yeah. I just wanted to, so as we finish up there, just thank everybody for participating in our group and asking questions. And I've made so many friends that I, talk to and randomly, just send pictures or whatever. And I just wanted to say that for those who don't know, if you're just watching this and don't know, the reason why we started this podcast is I used to be a really huge Kiss fan, and now I'm just a Kiss fan. But I would see these Kiss podcasts all the time and see Kiss interviews all the time on YouTube. And I always got aggravated that there was no Iced Earth, like not old people, old members getting interviewed, like, Randall and Gene and, all these guys. So I started looking for somebody to do a podcast with, and I found Jason did a review of I think it was Alive in Athens box set and his Slave to the Dark box set. And I sent him a message and we started chatting, and I had no clue a year from that, almost a year later we would be here. It's been a cool journey for sure.
it's been a long emotional ride, my friend, and I'm privileged that you reached out to me of all people. I am really privileged that with what we've built is incredible for everybody that's shared our videos, liked our videos, commented in whatever way people have supported us. It means the world. To all our Patreon backers, thank you so much.
Yep.
And Chuck, man, thanks a lot for you, because you do a lot of legwork when it concerns guests. So I thank you so much for that. That's a lot of messaging about and stuff. Messaging people.
I've made some really cool friends.
We've got wonderful community. While we're here, I just want to make a quick shout out. Brandon Stone, it's awesome being on your podcast, dude. Like, it's fucking well good. If people don't know, Brandon Stone has his own gaming podcast called Game Addicts Podcast. You can look it up. They've got a Facebook group and they're on Podbean as well. But yeah, Brandon, thank you so much for inviting me on it. That was a good time.
I still need to check that out.
I'll be happy to come on again. He helped us kind of plug Podcasting Stone, which is really nice of him. So yeah, check that out, guys. Game Addicts Podcast, really good stuff if you're into gaming.
And if you're a regular watcher, and I know you probably know we got Incorruptible coming up soon, fear not that this is the end of the show. We've got some really cool stuff in the works that I don't really want to talk about yet, but there's some really cool stuff coming up. So don't think it's over, because we've got live albums to talk about, we got compilations to talk about, we got side projects, we got more interviews, we got some interviews coming up with non-Iced Earth members that are going to be really cool.
Some really special stuff, guys. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, join the group. If you can spare $1, if you could spare $1, join us on Patreon and be a part of the community. It's been a killer year almost.
It's awesome. And thanks to all members and former members that participate in our group. I just seen a thing the other day that was talking about the 20th anniversary of Something Wicked, and the man himself, Barlow, was commenting on that. That's so cool to see that. We've got the best fan group ever. I mean, Gene, McGill, Greeley gets in there, Shawver, Abel, Brent,
Bill Owen,
Seymour. We've got Freddie gets in there sometimes, and I don't want to leave out people. Tarnowski. So it's really cool.
It's it does kind of like melt my brain to think of the how far we've come.
Troy. Sorry.
Oh yeah, Troy as well. We love Troy. Troy's awesome. Troy, you're awesome. Yeah, it's maddening to think how far we've come. You know, it's not even been a year yet, and like I look back at that first episode and cringe really hard because it's just so It's so different to what because we've kind of found our format. We found the flow, and it's like looking back at that, like looking back at those first couple of episodes are so cringeworthy. It's unreal. Because those episodes were off the cuff. We wouldn't have any we wouldn't have any like map. It would just be like, let's just talk about the first album. Let's just talk about Storm Rider, and we kind of just had to rely on bouncing off each other. You know,
we might have to do remaster version of those first 2 or 3 with bonus tracks.
We'll do a Century Media re-release. Yeah. Podcasting Stone episode 1 re-release 2018 edition. Right. Buy it on iTunes now. I'm joking.
So anyway, thanks for everybody watching. You know, there's more stuff to comment. Also, we had this on our Facebook group. So if you are only on YouTube, if you want to submit questions below, you know, we're going to do a part 2 if necessary, if people want to hear more questions. So if you're watching this, and even if you just missed it, submit a question and we'll get to it.
Yeah, exactly. So
I kind of enjoyed talking non-Ice stuff for a minute.
Yeah, like I said, I can talk about films for like.
Yeah, I'm a big movie buff.
Let's make a film podcast, film casting Stone. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Or is it podcast and film?
Yes. Let's do it. Everybody, if you want to see podcasting film, give us a like and comment in it down below and say #podcasting film. Let's do it. Let's see if it happens.
I'll see if I can get Stephen King. That'd be awesome.
He's a book author though.
They make movies. I don't read books.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Jason. I've been joined by my co-host, the incomparable Chuck Hoskins. This has been the first of hopefully many Q&As for the future. Thank you so much, guys. All the best. See you later.
Out.